Recently, a group of Indonesian scientists led by Hilman Natawidjaja discovered a construction that could be the oldest pyramid in the world. What was found is a 1,000-year-old construction that is located at the archaeological site of Gunung Padang, West Java in Indonesia. The megalith remained buried under what was believed to be a mountain at a site discovered in 1890. The most important thing about the discovery is that if the researchers' estimates are accurate, this could be the oldest pyramid in the world and the oldest construction of all. However, a good part of the scientific community does not seem to agree with the researchers' conclusions and maintains that this construction has an entirely natural origin. Could this recently discovered construction have a natural origin, or is it the trace of the first construction in all of human history? Keep watching to find out. A multidisciplinary study recently published, Archaeological Perspection, explains that this discovery by Indonesian scientists would indicate that the pyramid buried at Gunung Padang dates back more than 16,000 years, or possibly 27,000. This far surpasses famous structures such as the Egyptian pyramids that are approximately 4,500 years old, and even surpasses the oldest recorded construction known as Göbekli Tepe, an ancient shrine more than 11,000 years old that stands on the highest point of a sprawling mountain range located about 15 kilometers northeast of the city of Sanliufra in Turkey. The first civilization in history? Dutch historian Rogier Verbeek mentioned the existence of the archaeological site of Gunung Padang in 1890. Then in 1979, a group of peasants rediscovered the ruins on Mount Padang and quickly attracted the attention of the Bandung Institute of Archaeology. At the end of June 2014, the Ministry of Education and Culture declared the Mount Padang site a national site area. That research, which began in 2014, found the existence of giant building structures and 4 layers of a culture that built the Padang Pyramid and uncovered several human-made artifacts. All the discoveries indicate that this place was built by humans thousands of years ago and was possibly the oldest civilization on record. Gunung Padang is a multi-layered pyramid. The construction of this involves an artificial hill on which stone structures built by different cultures for thousands of years have been superimposed. Visual observations at Gunung Padang and radiocarbon dating reveal that the pyramid was built in 4 different stages. According to carbon analysis, Unit 3 was built during an extraordinary period between 25,000 and 14,000 BC. After this period, a lull extended between 14,000 and 7,900 BC before Unit 3 was finally deliberately buried between 7,900 and 6,100 BC. The construction of Unit 2 took place between 6,000 and 5,500 BC, amazingly approximately 2 millennia after Unit 1 was completed. Subsequently, another significant pause of almost 3,000 years occurred between 5,500 and 2,100 BC. This was followed by the construction of Unit 1 between 2,000 and 1,100 BC. Finally, between 1393 and 1499 AD, an excavation integrated Unit 2 and subsequent soil fills. This shows that the pyramid's construction was not made by a single civilization or culture, but by different cultures that over thousands of years were settling in that place. As it was considered a sanctuary with religious importance, these cultures continued with the construction work that the previous ones had left. The epic difference between each layer indicates that it is impossible for the cultures that built the pyramid to know each other, and that would explain the different archaeological styles found in each of the stages discovered by archaeologists. As a result of this discovery, it has been theorized that the civilization that carried out this millenary construction may have been the first in the entire history of humanity. Today, the oldest recorded culture is the Sumerian culture, which developed between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers in Iraq around 4,500 BC. But the civilization that carried out this construction would be more than 20,000 years old, far surpassing any other civilization on the planet. But considering the dates this construction occurred, it would mean this civilization built this pyramid during the last ice age. How could they do that? Consider that at that time, the entire planet had much lower temperatures than today. The ice caps of the poles extended hundreds of kilometers, and the seawater level dropped more than 60 meters. While the rest of the humans struggled to survive the inclement weather, this civilization built pyramids. This would mean that the people who built this pyramid were the first human beings to stop being hunter-gatherers, became sedentary, and formed the first culture in the history of the world. If so, we know very little about the world's first civilization. Also, during the last ice age, the sea level dropped so much that many places on the planet were connected by land, and you could walk from one island to another. The Indonesian region was one such region connected due to sea level decline. In a video we made about what the world looked like during the last ice age, we showed that in this region of the planet, most of the islands were connected to the Asian continent. So wouldn't it be wild if the civilization that made this pyramid could also have made others that were covered by the sea when the ocean's water level began to rise from the melting of the poles once the ice age ended? Is it possible that there are pyramids of this ancient civilization under the sea that emerged more than 20,000 years ago? In short, we have a very ancient civilization of which we know absolutely nothing, who not only endured the ice age but also put aside the practice of hunting to become sedentary and had a social organization that allowed them to build pyramids with pauses of thousands of years. Why didn't we know anything about them until now? Did they make this pyramid, or could it mean something else? Is it the work of humans or a product of nature? Although the recent discoveries of the Gunung Padang pyramid are impressive, a part of the archaeological community does not agree with the researchers' conclusions about it. This claim is based on the fact that although the evidence for its supposed 25,000 years was presented in a scientific article, it presents crucial biases that could have forced an erroneous and hasty conclusion. In a couple of weeks, Gunung Padang went from being just a natural hill in Asia to the vestiges of a pyramid older than the consolidation of agriculture. A multidisciplinary team of scientists investigated the mound for years. It determined that it housed an internal structure that was the product of a 1,000-year-old civilization without records. The research states that the pyramid was built in 4 distinct phases over various periods, and the most profound layer should be about 25,000 years old. There is no human structure standing at that age, but the rest of the archaeologists expressed their most significant suspicions about this part of the report. Although they do not doubt that the rocks collected and analyzed may be 20 millennia old, the study must provide conclusive evidence to confirm that human beings sculpted the stolen material. If a drill dug into the center of the mound and picked up buried rocks, any of them could be thousands or hundreds of thousands of years old, but that doesn't mean humans placed them there. Archaeologists say the age of a layer of soil does not constitute proof of the existence of an ancient pyramid. Another aspect that the scientists looked at with suspicion is the curious way the layers are placed. In a pyramid built at different times, architects and sculptors usually try to follow the same route as the first architect who started it. For example, in Mexico, there is a pyramid in the archaeological zone of Comalcalco in the state of Tabasco, located in the south. Mayan culture built this pyramid at different times for hundreds of years. Still, the architects who resumed the construction always followed the same line of the original base and tried to emulate the previous architecture, but with some differences in using handmade materials. But in the alleged pyramid found at Gunung Padang, there is no such tracking. There is no demolition or trace indicating architectures hand-sculpted by human beings. In addition, the researchers highlight the absence of other artifacts that indicate human presence in the area. Commonly in archaeological sites, when a pyramid or sanctuary or significant construction is discovered, other artifacts such as spearheads, burnt wood, clothing, vessels, etc. are found in the entire area, around and on top of the pyramid. It is usual for this type of object to be found in an archaeological site, which shows that humans were working the stone in that place. But in Gunung Padang, there is nothing of the sort, only a supposed buried pyramid. Finally, perhaps the most critical fact is the dates the researchers released about when each stage was built. While it is possible that the last, shallower stages of the mound were placed by some ancient culture 3,000 years ago, the last stages are arranged in such a way that first a layer is formed, then it is covered with earth, then thousands of years pass, and another one is formed again, and so on. This process closely resembles the way the soil layers of a volcano are formed. If we consider all this, we have that Gunung Padang does not present any trace of human activity. There is not a single proof or evidence that humans have sculpted such a structure as spearheads or vessels. It is located in a volcanic area, and that the layers are placed as if they were layers of a volcano. The scientific community has concluded that this structure has an entirely natural origin and was not made by humans. While many archaeologists would have liked the discovery to be the oldest pyramid in the world, for now all indications are that it is not. Do you think that one day we will find traces of a civilization older than all those known so far? Let us know what you think about this in the comments.